Hey guys, it's Mike from Mini Development, and we're going to pick up where we left off in this war tutorial series. Just one quick thing about the last video, we did have one issue there. If you see here in the card path constant, we need to add a forward slash at the end of that. So make sure you do that when we start to use this war card class. That right there is going to be very important. It'll cause you some issues if you don't have that in there, because it won't be looking in there. It won't get to the correct folder and won't be able to find the image. So make sure you do update that. Other than that, what we're going to do right now is we're going to probably break this shuffle stuff down into two videos. We'll go ahead and set up the XAML in this first video, and there's one thing that we have to do in the game window. We got to set up a static random in there, so we'll probably do those two items, and then in this next video we will probably look at the code behind for the shuffle window and get all that set up. So let's go ahead and get started. What we'll do is just real quick, just right click on your project here. You can go to add and class, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to click on the window here, WPF, and we're going to change the name of this to game window. Go ahead and click add, and we're not going to worry about any of this right now, but we are going to go over to in your Solution Explorer and click the little arrow here next to the game window, open up your code behind, and right above the constructor here, let's go ahead and put us a region, call it declarations. Go ahead and zoom in here. And what we're going to do inside here is we're going to put a private static random s underscore random for static. That's going to equal a new random. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a property real quick. I'm going to do public static random get return s underscore random. Okay, we'll go ahead and put a region around this for later. Alright, and that's all we're going to do in this class for now. So go ahead and just save that and close out the code behind for the game window and close out the game window itself. Make sure you do add this change here, and then we can go ahead and close out of that. And if you have that one still open, you can close out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a new window. And this one's going to be called the shuffle window, and that's what's going to come up when the cards are shuffling. So just right click here, add, and just choose window here. It's going to automatically select WPF window, which is what we could use for the game window earlier, but we just clicked on the wrong thing there. So call this shuffle window, click add. Alright, so now we have our designer here. Let me go ahead and set this up so it's easier for us to see. Zoom in here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up the visual part of this for now, and then we'll work on the code behind here in the next part. So looking at this, we actually want to do something a little bit different than the way we've made the windows in the past. So we want to, first, we don't need a title for this, so we can go ahead and get rid of the title. The height we're going to set to 150. The width we're going to change to 350. Okay, let me just reset that there so you guys can see it. Now, what we're going to do is change the background. Make that a forest green. The resize mode is going to be no resize. And we are going to set the window start location right here, the window startup location. We're going to set that to center owner. And what this is going to do is going to center it in the middle of our whatever window owns it, which is going to be our game window. And now we're going to get rid of this border and everything around it because we're going to handle closing it and everything like that. So we're going to type window style, and we're just going to put none. Now you see here we got this nice little window. We've took out all the ability to close it and everything else. And we're going to add the card here on this left side, and it's going to rotate. And then over here on the right, we're going to have text that displays if it's shuffling all the cards to computer cards or the player cards. So let's go ahead and get inside of our grid here, and we'll set up 2 columns. So grid column definitions. Set up our first column definition, and the width is going to be 120. And then our second column definition, the width is going to be the remainder of the space. Now we technically know what the width is, so we could go ahead and we could figure that out, and we could put 230 down there. But it's simpler just to put that, and it'll use the rest of the space there. So we need to add 2 things. One of them is going to be an image, which will go here on the left, which will be our card, and then we're going to add a label over here on the right, which will hold our text that tells what cards are being shuffled. So let's go ahead and add an image. Go ahead and give it a name, and I'll call this image underscore shuffle card. That's going to allow us access from our code behind. So let's go ahead and do grid.column, put this in the first column, so it'll be 0. And we're going to set the source here. The source is going to be images, / cards, / and we want the war card back.png. And we want a margin of about 25. So let's go ahead and we'll close out the image there, and you'll see it's going to appear here. And the next thing we want to do is we want to set up our label. Give it a name. Call it label underscore info. We're going to put this in the grid column 1, which will be the second column. The horizontal alignment is going to be center, and the vertical alignment is going to be center. Now we also want to set up the text that's going to be in it. So let's just go ahead and put some text there so we can kind of see it. Oops, content. Well, that didn't work out right there. Hold on one second. Content. And we can go ahead and close this off so we can see it. Okay, so you see we've got the text content in there now. So let's go ahead and we want to change this font family here. Now what I used in the intro, what you saw was the Old English text MT. So we'll go ahead and change that. Now you'll see it's already changed here. The next thing we'll do is we'll make the font size a little bit bigger. I was using 18. And then we want the font weight to be bold. Okay. And now you can see when we put actual text in here, that's what we'll see. Shuffling computer cards. See, that's going to fit in that box nicely there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll take that out because we're going to set the content in our code behind. We'll save that. And that is basically all we have to do. We've already prepped our game window class. We put in our static random there. And now we pretty much got this visual part set up. All we got to do is get into our code behind and put in the logic that actually shuffles the cards. Set up our constructor so that we can set the owner of this window, so we can center that inside of its owner. Now we got to set up the animation for this card here to turn, and that's basically all we got to do for the shuffles. So I'll see you guys here in a bit, and we'll get into the code behind. Thanks.